and we're going to begin momentarily. Welcome, everyone.
They should be fine. You need to, if anybody ever needs to share, the green button.
And how they can share.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Great.
Okay. Some folks here are signing in as soon, oh, I'm still on mute. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Okay, we ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, it is 6:37. And it's called to order. My name is Tina Lumley. I am co-chair of the Arts and Culture Committee, and welcome everyone. Daria, could you display the agenda so folks on the line can take a look at it? If not, don't worry about it. All right, don't worry about it. I'll assume that we're going to adopt this agenda, so we'll just get started. We're going to start off with the introductions. My name is Tina Lumley, and this is not your presentation. This is just to tell a little bit about yourself and what organization you're from. I'm from the community board. I'm the co-chair of Arts and Culture. I've lived in Harlem for 14 years, and I have been on the board since 2018. The reason why I got on the board was because I wanted to be politically active in my community. And with that, Martin.
Martin Collins, Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance.
Carlton Davis, Arts and Culture Community Board member, and I'm also the co-chair of the Senior Action Committee along with Walter T. Alexander.
Great.
Good seeing y'all.
Hi, my name is Alanis.
Could you speak up?
My name is Alanis. I'm with the Columbia Daily News Spectator. I'm just here to sit in to the meeting. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, I'm John McGregor, latest public member of the Arts and Culture Committee, and I'm a publishing professional and looking to start a bookstore.
Rachel Davidson, dancer, following, manager of arts and community programs.
Great.
My name is Sage Hamilton Hadarka. I'm a corridor coordinator for the Underground Railroad Consortium of New York State, and I'm a resident of Estai. Thanks for welcoming me.
Great.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tesora Estrella. I am the outreach assistant for Every Voice Choirs, and I'm also a part of the Arts and Culture Youth Subcommittee.
Great. Thank you. Okay, Daria.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Daria Hardiman. I am co-chair of this committee along with Tina Lumley. I am a transplant to New York, have been in our neighborhood since 1997, actually. By trade, I am a performing artist and lately a photographic artist. And yeah, I guess that's a little about me. One thing I'm not sure if it was said, the reason we do this is so that we'll know who is in the room. And I especially want to say this because I say it every meeting, is we are better together. And the person who started that mantra happens to be here with us this evening, which is Mr. Vosa Rivers, who I'm going to ask to give a little brief introduction of himself next.
Hi, I'm Boza Rivers. I am the founder and chairman of two connected organizations, the Harlem Arts Alliance and also New Heritage Theater Group, celebrating its 60th anniversary, the oldest Black not-for-profit theater in New York State. In addition, I'm the first vice president of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. I'm the chair of the Arts and Culture Committee, and I am the founder of Harlem Week. This year, our media impressions for the 50th year of doing Harlem Week was 3.6 billion media impressions around the world. I am very active with the marriage of Harlem Arts Alliance and also New Heritage Theater, and we'll see, you'll listen to more as we move along tonight.
Thank you. Amy?
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I actually was a resident of CB9 for 16 years, but recently I've moved uptown into Washington Heights. I am working with VOSA on all of the grants and outreach now for New Heritage. We are actually also co-producers of a gospel musical called Turning 15 on the Road to Freedom. If anybody has seen it, we were on tour before COVID shut us down. And I have a couple of other organizations. I saw some of you at the Harlem Arts Alliance meeting on Friday. And I'm just honored to be here with all of you.
I love to go into the meetings, however, I still work. We were on Saturdays for a few months. It was so wonderful. Gwen? Gwen Black? You're on mute. Gwen, can you hear me? Okay, Michael Palmer?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Palma Mir. My family has been living in Harlem since 1907. I'm a graduate from Annunciation right here on 133rd and Convent Avenue. I went to Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx. I went to college at Columbia University. I'm twice graduated from Columbia University with a master's in fine arts from there. And I am the executive director of the West Harlem Arts Alliance. We are a brand spanking new organization. We are in our second full year of programming. I'll have something to say a little bit about that. But I'm glad to see everyone here this evening, and I'm happy to answer any questions later on. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Stephanie?
Hi, my name is Stephanie Nelson. I am the founder and director of Same Name Dance Company. I've been living in Morningside Heights since 2005. And this is our third year of getting funding from the West Harlem Development Corporation. And so we're super excited to let you all know about our upcoming projects. And I am very grateful to be here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Denise?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Denise Ford. I used to be a resident of Hamilton Heights. I went to City College for 8 years. I am now the director for a family enrichment center that's going to be stationed in Morningside Heights. It's a co-design for the community, by the community kind of center. So I'm just excited to be here.
Okay, great. Gwen, are you available now?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm curious. You can hear me? Sorry. Okay.
Hey,
Hi,
Gwen.
everyone. Good evening. I'm Gwen Black. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, somebody has a phone call going in the background. If whoever it is, would you please mute?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had another meeting that I also had to attend. I apologize, and I'm trying to turn down my phone and focus on you guys. Anyway, everyone, I'm Gwen Black. I'm the founder of Arts and Jazz Fest New York City and Jazz by the Water. I'm also a visual artist, and educator, and I'm happy to see everybody.
Great, thank you. Siku, and if I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize.
That's okay. I'm Sekou McMiller. I'm the curator of special projects for the National Jazz Museum in Harlem. And as a practitioner, I'm a choreographer, director, and professor of dance.
Thank you. TJ?
I think that is just something that goes on when BOSA is having a meeting, so apologies.
No problem. ZHIYU? Do you want to unmute and introduce yourself? Siku, you have your hand up?
No, I shouldn't.
Okay. All right. All right, we're going to get started. Who we are and what we do. The community board is comprised of 50 folks, and we are all folks that have other responsibilities, and we're volunteers. And there are several committees. If you're a member of the community board, you are assigned to 1 to 2 committees, but you're free to go to as many meetings as you like. And the areas range from landmarks to health, to youth and libraries, and so on. So whatever your niche is, there's a place for you. Arts and culture committee, they're all about communication and bringing folks together, as Daria had mentioned earlier. Our goal is to make everyone in our community available of one, opportunities, and what's going on in the art world that we can all participate in. And with that, we're going to go to my email address and Daria's email address are on the minutes, on the agenda. Daria, would you mind putting our email address in the chat so that everyone online can have it? I think they all do, but just in case.
Sure. If you would give me the ability to share, I can also share the agenda for just a minute if anybody would like to see it online. But I will also put them in the chat. Thank you. Let me see. I'm sharing my screen. It's not a pretty document. It's actually in my there, just so everyone can see where their presentations will be if you're online. Go ahead, Tina.
Okay, we're going to start with the subcommittee reports. There are several subcommittees for arts and culture. The subcommittees are responsible for various areas which will be discussed as the person presents. The first subcommittee is artist information. And the purpose of this subcommittee is to obtain information of events or possible monetary rewards for folks in the arts community in Harlem, and particularly in our community in MCB9. During this month, Walter Alexander, who is unfortunately not available tonight, and I have distributed 35 pieces of information. And if you would kindly add your email address when you sign in, if you are not part of the email distribution list, you will be included. I see 2 people that may not be. Okay, and for all the folks that are online, please add your name, your organization, your telephone number, and your email address. The next Subcommittee is the RKO Theater, which is manned by Walter Alexander, and as I mentioned, he is not here. The next subcommittee and the RKO project is the purpose is we're trying to look for one, funding. And the RKO building that's on 150 something Street on Broadway is absolutely stunning. And King's Theater was in disrepair. There's another movie theater on 99th Street that was in disrepair. And they got monies available to restore them to their former beauty. And because there's so much extra space, maybe housing and other opportunities would be available, which could be available to our community as well. Strategic planning, community benefits agreement. Okay,
Yeah, going this one.
okay. Michael Palmer, West Harlem Arts Alliance.
Good evening, everybody. We are getting ready for another fun filled season of arts programming, and not only produced by ourselves, but also in partnership with many organizations in West Harlem, arts organizations in West Harlem and points beyond. Up next will be our first iteration, and Martin, please excuse me if I am speaking out of turn if you have this on your agenda, but our first Learn, Mix, and Mingle of the year is this March, on March 27th, and it is entitled To Be or Not to Be a 501c3. In this version of our Learn, Mix, and Mingle, we will be discussing the pros and cons of becoming a 501c3. A 501c3 is something that one does not enter into becoming lightly. And you will learn everything you need to know about becoming a 501c3 in this workshop. And as the title suggests, the Learn, Mix, and Mingle is about 1 hour worth of workshops, and then the second hour is a mixer at a local eatery where we will be serving wine and some light refreshments and some light foods, so that everybody, all juiced up with what they learned in the first hour, can discuss and begin to exchange ideas in the second hour. Hello?
We're here,
We're
we're just,
here.
your choice of words drew humor from the room.
Oh, okay. Well,
Where is the educational part of the program, and then of course the post-game show?
well, the mix-up part will be at Sion Cafe, and right now we're talking with the Sugar Hill Children's Museum and Dance Theater of Harlem, which are two locations very close to Sion Cafe. It'll probably more than likely be in one of those two locations. But watch out for it in our e-blast and our Instagram accounts. We'll be announcing it very shortly.
Thank you.
Thank
Harlem
you.
Arts Alliance, Daria.
Well, we are so honored to have the founder of Harlem Arts Alliance here tonight, so we're going to have him do it. But I just want to say really quickly before he begins, tonight we actually have the honor of having all three major arts alliances in the house. We have Harlem Arts Alliance, we have West Harlem Arts Alliance, and we have Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. What we do is connect people to resources and opportunity. And if there was ever resources and opportunity at an arts and culture meeting, it is tonight.
Amen.
So please, please, please know that, you know, what an honor it is to have them all in the same place at the same time. And With that said, it is my very honor. I already said something about him, but there really can't be enough said about the impact that Vosa Rivers has had on the arts in Uptown Manhattan. And I know sometimes people hear about Harlem Week, sometimes they hear about Harlem Arts Alliance, but they don't always know. They might hear Vosa's name, but he could be standing in the room because he's so mild-mannered and low-key, and you might not even know who it is. So with that, I will turn it over to Vosa Rivers to give the update on Harlem Arts Alliance.
Thanks, Daria.
Excuse me, there's a few more subcommittee reports, and then, Boza, we would love to hear your presentation.
I'm sorry, I thought you said Harlem Arts Alliance.
Yes, you're the person that's in charge of the,
Right, and I'm
subcommittee.
gonna have Vosa do the update instead of myself
Okay.
because he's here.
Okay, first of all, I'm honored to be a part of this meeting. We are an art service organization, almost totaling 300 members now. The Harlem Arts Alliance is a bridge between East Harlem, Central Harlem, Washington Heights, and we are on top of making sure that all the three art service organizations that you just mentioned are working together. And we do that with our town hall meetings. We just had a town hall meeting on the 28th, and that town hall meeting was in East Harlem at the Museum of the City of New York, where almost 300 people turned out to a meeting. We also were at Aaron Davis Hall on Saturday, and we were there with Metropolitan Opera, the Harlem Chamber Players, and also our theater presenting work by the Metropolitan Opera. We are in Columbia University and other locations, always bringing the very diverse communities together with the programming that we do. What I wanted to do is to briefly have Amy share some of those things with you so that I don't take up a lot of your time. Amy?
Yeah, can I share my screen? Is that possible?
Yes,
Sure.
it's open. Tina, whatever that is that's sharing to the all we can see the big blue screen. Is it possible to change it to speaker view?
It's there.
Are you seeing?
We
Yes,
see it,
we
Amy.
see
Go
it.
ahead, please.
The stop share there. You see the red stop share? Yeah, just put it down.
So those, are you going to speak to?
No, I said you do it so we can save the time.
I
No,
love
no, no. I want to save
Wait,
time, Amy.
This is not, it's not time, Vosa. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not time for the new heritage presentation yet. That's on the agenda under presentations. This
Okay.
is, right now is only our updates from Harlem Arts Alliance.
Okay.
I'm
So,
sorry.
okay, so I mentioned Harlem Arts Alliance and the programs that we're doing. We're tied in the Harlem Arts Alliance as a resident uh, in a number of institutions. City College, for one, we are in residency at City College. We are in residence uh, um, at the, I'm sorry.
Public? We were talking about the public, Vosa?
Yeah, we're now in residency as of last week at the Public Theater, and we are also in residency at Aaron Davis Hall. I said City College, but specifically Aaron Davis Hall. What we are planning on doing is to bring Harlem Arts Alliance members into those facilities so that we could help market and promote their activities. This is not an easy feat, but we have made headway, and these institutions have all agreed. We are also talking about the partnerships of the community boards working together on certain projects. I am so pleased that we have two of those art service organizations and community board 9 on this call, because what we will be doing, and I will be talking with them about the events that we can all do together. And it's the right time. When we look at the political climate right now, there is strength in the partnerships that we need to strengthen. I will say that a number of years ago, when I launched the Harlem Arts Alliance, there were a number of theater companies that were in different parts of Manhattan not receiving the kind of support from the funders, and especially the New York City Council, that their colleagues downtown were receiving. And as a result of that, we created something called, through the Harlem Arts Alliance, the Coalition of Theaters of Color. That project and advocacy to codify a lot of the smaller and community-based organizations into something called the Coalitions of Theaters of Color started with 12 organizations. Today, it is a line item in the city council's budget, and we started out with $500,000, and now the budget line for that coalition of all of us coming together is $8 million a year. That is now distributed to 52 organizations. That's the power of coalitions, is the power of working together. My goal is that Martin and Michael, they become like brothers to me. At the meetings, they share the information. I am so pleased at the presentations that they're making. Daria is another person who has been coming to our meetings for some time. A lot of people know that I helped found other arts and cultural organizations. I'm the co-founder of the Dwyer Cultural Center. You have Desiree Elder that will speak shortly. I'm on the board of First Corinthians Baptist Church, because the churches play important roles in the work that we do. Sharing arts and culture with the community boards and with the community based organizations is part of what we're doing. And I could go on, but that's not necessary. I think people get a sense of the work that I do, and there's more to come. I look forward to joining additional meetings with Community Board 9, where I can give more updates in terms of the activities that we're doing and with whom.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. The next subcommittee is Arts for Youth. Alana, would you like to give the update? Okay, the Arts for Youth is comprised of John McGregor and Tesora and Alana. Desiree from the community board is also helping out as well. We're going to try to create a database of all of the arts and culture youth-related organizations, so that we've got information can be readily available when needed. And as of tonight, we're going to plan an event in the end of June. There are a variety of organizations that are working with school children, and they're having events at the school. We're going to contact these organizations and see if they would be available to have a presentation So they'd be able to at least do the performance one more time and we could have a reception for them. Nothing has been nailed down. This is a brand new idea. We haven't found the venue. We have to contact the organizations first to find out whether it's the last week of June or the week before and what the availability of both space. It's conceptual right now, but we're moving forward. Are there any questions? Yes.
As you plan that event and its timing, it's obviously during what will be the 23rd Uptown Art Stroll during the entire month of June, which ends June 30th. So as you prepare and organize yourselves for this event, details, send them to us as quickly as possible. I know Michael Palma, who's on the call this evening, and Bosa and myself, we would love to spread the word to all of our contacts. And if you happen to have it together by the beginning of May, we can get it in the published printed Uptown Art Store guide.
Oh, wow, that's fantastic. We gotta get on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, art therapy.
How you doing? Carlton Davis again. We have three excerpts from art therapy exercises. Miss Shelley Clammer, she's art therapy therapist from Canada. And she specializes in working with women with art therapy. Let me just bring it up right quick. Just give you three excerpts. Okay, one of her excerpts are draw or paint your emotions. It's like in this kind of exercise, you'll focus entirely on painting what you're feeling. So to tap into your inner self and, feel great about what you paint. Doesn't have to be a Picasso or anything like that. It's something that to express yourself and relieve yourself from whatever stressful situation that you may be in at that time. Two is to create an emotional wheel using color. This activity will have you thinking critically about your emotions, which follows the first phrase that I was stating in the first place. And the third is making meditative, meditative painting, looking for a creative way to relax. Have trouble sitting still to meditate? What's the word again?
Meditative.
It's the first one. I can't get it. Meditative painting might be just the thing you're looking for. No painting skill or experience necessary, only a desire to relax, be more creative. So this basically, she stated to me, what she expressed to women is that you need to open up your mind, body, and soul and put it into the art to release stress, strain, any kind of problem that you may have of the day, even if it's continuous. I think what is stated, what I have seen from art therapy from children in various schools is that they are really at calm. It's like whatever problem they have, whether it's stress from school or anything, the art has really offset it dramatically in a positive way.
Okay, thank you. Is it possible that if this, whatever this document is, could you share it with us?
Sure.
And we can send it out with the to our distribution list. Further, you think that she might want to give a presentation at this art day with the children at the end of the school year?
I'm trying to tap her down. I'm going to contact her again. This time be by phone. Like I said, she's in Canada. I'm quite sure.
Oh, she's in Canada.
Yeah. But she's one of the best research I was doing is Shelley Clammer. She
Okay,
has.
if you could just document this and we can just send it out.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, last but not least for our presentations, Daria for film and television.
Film and television has no updates at this time, but I think we skipped West Harlem Arts Alliance.
No, we did not.
Made my presentation.
He gave his presentation already.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, I can't hear you, Michael. You're
I'm
breaking up.
sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, I guess I'm sitting right here and okay.
Okay, and for community updates, Martin Collins.
Good evening, everyone. Martin Collins, the Uptown Art Stroll Coordinator at the Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. I have several reports to make this evening. First, in celebration of Women's History Month, NOMA will invite everyone to the opening reception of the 16th Annual Women in the Heights. The title, the exhibition subject this year is Hair, Untangling Identity, and it is a dazzling show. I got to see all 43 pieces that were submitted by artists in El Barrio, West Harlem, Washington Heights, and Inwood today. We're hanging that show this week, and the opening will be on Thursday, March 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at NOMA's Gallery on Broadway and West 176th Street. You can RSVP on our website. That's nomanyc.org, NOMAANYC.org. We look forward to seeing you all at that event, which is free and open to the public, Thursday, March 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at our gallery.
Excuse me. If anyone is interested in following along, in the chat is all of the information that Martin is referring to. So feel free.
Thank you, Keel, and you for putting that in the chat. It's all there in the chronological order in which I'm going to read it off. There are cards here, plenty of cards, postcards, and flyers for all of the events I'm going to discuss. Second, Sunday, March 16th is the deadline to enter the 2025 Uptown Art Stroll poster contest. This year's grand prize winner will receive $2,000 and the banner on all publications. You become the emblem for the Art Stroll, front cover of all the guides, posters, fans, and the masthead for the website, in addition to the $2,000 grand prize. Second prize will get $1,000 and third prize $500. The info and application on our 23rd Uptown Art Stroll poster contest is on our website. NOMA Labs are workshops, and they will continue on Thursday, March 20th from 6 to 8 p.m. with intro to figure drawing by artist Daniel Bonilla at our gallery on 176th Street and Broadway. Non-members, there'll be a fee of $10. If you're a NOMA member, it's free. And info is on our website about all of that. The printed Uptown Art Stroll guide, which I discussed a few moments ago, if you submit your events, open studios, exhibitions, any discipline of art that you're doing from May 30th to June 30th, we will put that in the Uptown Art Stroll printed guide. On our website, right on the homepage, it says calendar. You click there, you go right there to the submission form. It takes about 25 seconds to input an event, and we'll make sure that that is in the Uptown Art Stroll printed guide. If it doesn't have that in by the beginning of May, it still will go into our weekly publications and our newsletter and all our social media blasts throughout all 4 weeks of the stroll from May 30th to June 30th, because there'll be a QR code on the front of every publication that we have for the art stroll. You can see award-winning jazz impresario and West Harlem. He lives just a few blocks from here. Award-winning jazz and West Harlem resident Emmett Cohen live at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, May 20th at the Harlem School of the Arts. It's a pre-stroll concert. It is free, but we do have a suggested $10 donation, which goes directly to benefit the Harlem School of the Arts Summer Camp for Children. We do ask that you RSVP because capacity is limited to 150 people at Dorothy Maynard Hall. Last 2 items from me. We invite everybody to the 23rd Uptown Art Stroll opening reception on Friday, May 30th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at the Lee C. Bollinger Forum on West 125th Street and Broadway. You can celebrate this year's honorees. In fact, one of the honorees is actually at this meeting today, and enjoy music, food, and refreshments. It's free and open to the public. And finally, we'll be announcing the honorees later in March. Lastly, but not least, is Beyond Art Hours. This is a program that NOMA has launched, flexible hourly rentals for local organizations and community members seeking studio space for non-art purposes. Yoga, martial arts, art therapy, business meetings, workshops, and more. You can contact us at studios@nomanyc.org, at studios@nomanyc.org for more information on our Beyond Art Hours. Information again on all of these programs and flyers and postcards are on that table over there here in this meeting space. My contact information as well is in the chat. I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone may have.
Thank
Any
you,
questions?
Martin.
Well,
Tina?
Yeah.
And on the submission, can you just say again where we should submit on the website for publication events happening 30th, May through June? It's on the website.
You go right to the home page, and on the home page, it'll say calendar. You click on the word calendar. 2 prompts will come up, NOMA events, and then submit your events. You click on the one to the right, and the information form comes right up. Just put all the requisite information in there, including a contact person and a zippy image for the website. I use that to write the stroll guide, which I'll start writing in about 2 weeks.
Tina, may I add something really quickly?
Sure.
Just for community updates, we have a standing space for Martin Collins from Northern Manhattan Arts Alliance. And as you can see, he has his presentation very quick, very simple. Well, it's not simple. There's a lot of stuff. But the reason that was created was with Martin in mind, but it is actually for anyone who does not have a full long presentation. You're not showing video or anything like that. And you might have something going on in your organization that you just want to let the community know about really quickly. If you can do it in 3 minutes or less, then you can be put in the community update section because you don't always need a full presentation, and it might just be quick. And I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware that is available. Thank you.
And with that, we're going to begin our presentations. Our first presentation is the New Heritage Theater Group. Amy Amy, how do you pronounce your last name? Amy, you're on mute.
You did that right to begin with. It's Amy Sprecher.
Okay.
And now I will share. Can you see that?
Oh, it looks lovely.
Okay, so Vosa left us, and he did say, I'm gonna just hide these, so, okay. A lot of what he said is actually on this, but this is a presentation specifically to talk about how the West Harlem Development Corporation has been incredibly helpful in funding a lot of the programs, both for New Heritage Theater Group and for the Harlem Arts Alliance. And from what I know, they've been doing this for years and just incredibly appreciative of what they do to support us. I just have to say for a moment, because Daria talked about it a lot, but Vosa Rivers is the most amazing human being I have ever had the honor of meeting and being in his orbit. He is truly an amazing, extraordinary person. And anyone who doesn't know him, you should get to know him, because the kind of knowledge and wisdom that he has and the generosity I'm getting chills just talking about him. Get incredibly emotional, and I will do anything for him, which is why I'm here today. So anyway, onward with this short presentation. So the first thing was, let me see if I can get down. Here we go. So these are the key events that we did with their funding through New Heritage. And this Sounds of Hope is one of the things that Boza was talking about, and it was just this past Saturday. It was with the Metropolitan Opera fundraiser, and there was about 350 people there at Marion Davis Hall. It was Marion Anderson at the Aaron Davis Hall. It was phenomenal and was incredibly diverse, and the performances were amazing. We throughout this season, and actually it's going in, so fiscal year for us is July 1st through June 30th of 2025 this year. We have been supporting a lot of the artists that we have been doing through the years, including Daniel Coabidi, and Oru Aro, which is an Afro Cuban dance ensemble. Amazing. If anybody was at our 60th gala anniversary that we had in December, they also performed there. The Shades of Truth Theater, which is Michael Green's production company, and he does a lot of theater based on Malcolm X and also Dr. Martin Luther King, and he's phenomenal. We also had the Harlem Spoken Word Invitational, which was sponsored by and hosted by the Harlem Bomb Shelter. And I think you probably know the artist Anubis. And they did this great sort of competition where a lot of poets came and presented their poetry. So again, this is just a couple of the programs for New Heritage Theater Group. Moving to the Harlem Arts Alliance, the West Harlem Development Corporation was also a sponsor and host of the recent, I don't know if you were able to go, but it was amazing, the Harlem Fine Arts Show, which was held down at the Glass House, which was downtown. I think the West Harlem Arts Alliance had artists that took part in that. We had a very big space there, and many artists from HAA took part in it.
Mhm.
If you, oh, was somebody going to say?
No, yes, we did. We did have ours there. Sorry.
That's great. And they also helped with our town hall meetings. So that happen every month. In fact, in December, our last one was at the Harlem School of the Arts, and the West Harlem Development Corporation helped with a little holiday food and reception after that meeting. So you can see that they have been incredibly wonderful in what they have helped us fund. And then this is just some of the artwork in terms of the marketing that they were part of. Down here was the invitational. Here was our gala where we, just to put up a little plug-in, we announced the endowment for the future for New Heritage. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
Hi, could you tell me the town hall meetings? I used to get emails regarding the town hall meetings. For some reason, I don't receive them anymore for some reason.
Oh, well, then please send your email address and I'll make sure you're on the list.
Great, I will. And is it possible, will they always be during the work week between 9 and 5? I know that there were several that were on the weekend. I work, so that's difficult for me.
Oh, I completely I get that because I loved them when they were on Saturday too, but it has to do, I think, with space.
Okay.
So I can talk to them again, but that's the reason why it's in the morning on Fridays. But I know it's tough. Although this past Friday, we had over 300 people come to the museum for that meeting. It was pretty special. But yes, I do understand. Anything?
Are there any events slated after March? I saw the last one, I think was February 28th.
There are. I will make sure that you get a notice of them. We do have a database, a mailing list that goes out with tons of these. We actually do promote a lot of CB9 artists and actually artists that are all part of the Harlem Arts Alliance. And one of the things that I know Voza is going to be talking about more and came up in the Harlem Arts Alliance meeting is that he has developed a succession plan, which is, and he's not going anywhere, everybody, he is staying around, but understanding that he is now in his 80s and actually has been with the New Heritage Theater Group since 1964. He was there when Roger Furman founded it, and then when Roger passed away in 1983, Boza took over as the head of that organization, and then, as you heard, has done the most amazing work in terms of promoting and making visible artists from Harlem. Daniel Coabiti has been named the new CEO and artistic director. And as part of that, that's where we have solidified our residency at City College, at Aaron Davis Hall, and also at the Public. I think you're going to see a lot of new programming that is going to feature artists that we have been featuring, but also new ones. I want to, you know, when COVID hit, a lot of things got quiet, and over the last couple of years, it certainly has come back alive. And then you're going to see a lot more of that.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Thank you very much. And next is Ryan Maloney. Is he here?
No, actually, I'm here on behalf of the National Jazz Museum in Harlem, Sekou McMillan. Yeah, Ryan couldn't make it.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm excited to, to listen to you all. And it's just such great information.
Amy, could you bring down the presentation, please?
So I'm going to be pretty quick here. We are the National Jazz Museum in Harlem, and I am the curator of special projects. So I deal with a lot of the special things that come through the museum, including handling our jazz concerts series in West Harlem, which is funded by West Harlem Development Corp. So last year we did a lot of great things, and then this spring we have coming up, we're going to be celebrating International Jazz Day with a concert, and then also do a couple of concerts partnering with the historic Harlem parks. Specifically Morningside Park and St. Nicholas Park as well. We also did that last year as well. And then we're looking to continue our community partners, MCB9 with the Sugar Hill Children's Museum. We did 2 concerts there last year, and we're in talks now about continuing to provide programming there. Also to try and form a relationship with the Forum on the Columbia campus over there. But we also plan to go back to Dear Mama Cafe to do community jazz performances and do other fun places like comedy in Harlem and spaces like that. We are also open to creating new partnerships. So if you would like to partner up, anyone on this call, or have suggestions of partners and or performance venues in CV9, please send them our way. Our schedule for the spring will be available on our website under events at jmih.org, and also going out in our weekly newsletter. So please sign up for that. We haven't put the schedule out as of yet. Beginning of the year, we did a couple of changes in our leadership. And as we're settling that down, we are gearing up to do a very robust, busy spring season of jazz concerts.
Thank you. So cool. When you have the dates and the artists, please send it to Walter and I, and we'll distribute it.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right. Youth Justice
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Tina. I'm sorry.
Gwen.
Okay, thank you. I say two. Am I saying it right? I'm sorry if I'm not.
Sekou.
Sekou. I can't. I'm now. I had to switch to my phone, and I'm trying to see everything now. I do have a question because I had contacted Ryan the year before. We have a series that we started at Manhattanville called "What Is Jazz? Jazz Is."
Okay.
And it was an exhibition of the children's artwork, and we were looking to exhibit it.
Oh.
And I didn't hear anything back from him.
Okay.
So I was curious as to now what is the process of submitting if you do want to partner with the Jazz Museum. Because the other thing is, we've moved kind of past it, but we're going to circle back to that event because we want it on. And Ryan and I talked about trying to partner to do, educational outreach. So I'm still interested in doing that because that's one of the core things of what we try to do is really bring jazz to the youth in the community. And we've been doing that through Visual Arts and Jazz Day. So I would like to know how you are now doing the process of selecting partnerships and is it just an email inquiry? Because the other thing that we're looking to do is to celebrate Joe Chambers, if you're familiar with Joe Chambers, legendary
Joe Chambers.
percussionist. He has a book out. So I would love to talk to you about that. So if you just let me know the process, or should I email you to do an intro? I would like to
If you
follow up.
can, yeah, if you could email me, I'll put my email in the chat a couple of times, smcmiller@jmih.org, and copy Ryan as well in the email. And the partnerships often, Nick, they have to do with our season and what's going on and what's in the process at the moment. But hopefully it can align. I hadn't heard about your project, so yeah, just send it over to me. And I'll put my email in there so you can send it.
Okay.
And
definitely-
copy Ryan. Yes. And what's the name of your organization again?
Arts and Jazz Fest, New York City.
And do you have an ongoing festival that you do currently? When?
Yeah, this is well, it's actually more than 22 years. I just kind of took a few years off because we took a little break in between, but it is 22 years. We celebrate the visual side of jazz. So art exhibits, youth programming, live concerts, which is now Jazz by the Water on Rikers Island. So, we've been developing different programming over the years. So we're celebrating really over 22 years.
That sounds exciting. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Please email me. Thank you.
Okay, will do. Thank you, Sekou.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that it's worth coming to Community Board 9 Arts and Culture meetings.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Youth Justice Network, Messiah. Are you here? We're gonna go a little bit out of turn. FCBC Community Development for Desiree.
That is me. Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me okay?
Very well.
Okay, perfect. My name is Desiree Elder, and I actually have two functions just for the sake of collaboration. On one side, I serve as the pastor of development and innovation at First Corinthian Baptist Church located on 116th and 7th Avenue. And I handle a lot of the artistic endeavors there. So if you're not aware, FCBC, as we affectionately call it, is a 1,400 seat theater. And so we often partner with other organizations to put on presentations and events, especially, with the renovations going on with the Apollo. But so just letting you know that, for instance, you saw on the Harlem Arts Alliance New Heritage kind of presentation, things like Love Warrior and such were actually held our venue. And we've did recently, Trisha Hersey, who's a New York Times bestselling author. She did her book launch at there, and we had more than 700 people there. But on that, what I do on the arts on one end, I'm here in the capacity as the executive director of the FCBC Community Development Corporation, which you may not have heard of under that name, but we have two flagship initiatives with freestanding locations in Harlem. We have our Hope Center, which does free mental health to the Harlem community. So licensed therapists, psychiatrists who can prescribe meds, and all of that is free to the community. And then we have our Dream Center, which is a few blocks up, where we do free programming around creative arts, leadership development, and economic empowerment. Where West Harlem Development Corporation has been just so helpful is with our Dream Center and one of our initiatives called the Uptown Collective, which is basically our arts and cultural programming aimed at like addressing, helping artists connect. We do mixers, we do workshops, we have a writing residency, we do an array of things. And so over this past year, we've had the opportunity to do several things because of the West Harlem Development Corporation. We have our Harlem Teen Shakespeare Intensive, which we do every summer for youth ages 8 to 18, where we partner with Classical Theater of Harlem to teach youth about Shakespeare, and then they put on a green show. Sometimes that happens in Marcus Garvey Park. This year, the kids were really interested in AI and things, so we kind of pivoted. But we do that every summer. And we did that this past July. We introduced our residency called the Renaissance Residency. And with that, we took in 5 new playwrights who we kind of helped them develop their work. And then we put on a staged reading with professional actors at City College, not in Aaron Davis Hall, but in the Marion Theater, the smaller theater there. And again, we worked with Daniel Coabady as well. He was our artist in residence working with those writers. And we will be launching that again. We did mixers, some with Broadway artists. We just do a lot of different things. But one of the things that I'm really excited about that we are launching is called Uptown Legacy Connect. It's an arts and cultural program that's aimed at addressing loneliness and isolation among seniors and those who are 50 and older in Harlem. And we are doing some focus on Community Board 9. So what we are doing is essentially we are looking to service 150 seniors. We are going to be doing in-person workshops on performing arts, storytelling, and writing led by professional artists. We will be doing bi-monthly mixers with those 50 and above, but also bringing in those who are in the industry who are 50 and above, just so that there's a frame of reference for, hey, no matter what age I am, I can always engage in the arts. And then we're going to be doing a culminating public showcase where participants can present their creative works or have the choice of professional actors to present their works, celebrating kind of their journey and their contributions. And so I'm happy to share more information. With that, I will email those things out, or if anyone's interested in more information just about what we're doing. But that's who we are. I'm happy to meet everyone. Happy to be here. Thank you. I think I spent 5 minutes.
Desiree, I have a few questions.
Sure.
Did you put your contact information in the chat?
I did, and I'll drop it again, but I did put my information.
It's in there, it should be
Yes,
fine.
it's in there.
I didn't see it. I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
How are you going about soliciting, obtaining, informing seniors of this wonderful opportunity?
Right. So there's a couple of ways. We have quite a few like databases that we are engaged in. One of the other things is because the Dream Center has like a robust kind of senior program. Seniors are actually quite a large demographic of the Dream Center coming from CB9 and other places. So we have a database, and seniors are doing ongoing programming weekly, from knitting to technology classes and all of these other things there. We have a large, robust connection, again, through First Corinthian Baptist Church, through Harlem Arts Alliance, through our Hope Center that also has a lot of seniors who are coming in for services. And then we'll be reaching out to other organizations just to make them aware as we finalize the program and get started.
The Community Board 9 has a senior committee as well, that's headed by Walter T. Alexander and Carlton Davis. So I will pass your information on to them, and hopefully you can do a presentation for them as well.
Sure. I saw the email xalex3 or at Gmail. So yes, I will definitely do that.
As far as First Corinthians, do you have a stage do you, if you allow other folks to use the stage? Let's say for a youth, showcasing our youth, like say at the end of June?
Absolutely. That was kind of why I brought it up. So like, for instance, we're partnering with District 3 of the, because they want to do a panel and show this documentary for their students. And for those, we do graduation ceremonies. We do an array of things. So I'm definitely open to that, doing a walkthrough to make sure that the space is conducive to what you're looking for. And then if that works, like, yeah, absolutely.
We will definitely be in contact. Thank
Perfect.
you.
You're welcome.
Are there any other questions?
I had a question. Hi. I was just wondering, you said that you did a stage reading and you're using professional actors. I'm wondering how you are casting for the actors that you use in projects.
So what we do is we're really about trying to build local artists. So as individuals kind of come to our mixers and things, we have an actors database of more than 200 actors. We have like their headshots and their information. And so oftentimes when we do, part of what we like to do is ensure that all artists are paid. So whether we're doing private stage, table reads or stage readings, we usually reach out to that listserv first to say, hey, if you're interested, this is what we have coming up. And then just depending on the nature of the project, we will kind of cast who might be a best fit. But that's an open database, meaning that any actor who is interested can be added to that. But most often we're organically connecting with folks who are like coming to our mixers or coming to our in-person events and then being added, or someone is telling a friend of a friend.
Could you please share that information in the chat?
Sure.
Of how people could get on your database. Could you also say it verbally, because the chat is not available when people will watch this later on YouTube?
Oh, got it. Yes. So we have our email address. Generally, you can send like your headshot, you can send your resume to us and just say that you're interested in being added to the database. Sorry, I'm going to pull up the email because we have 500 emails that we all have multiples, but it's UC@dreamcenterharlem.org. UC@dreamcenterharlem.org. You can simply email us there, say you're interested in being a part of a database, and we will follow up and say, hey, send us your headshot, send us your resume. We find out if people are union or not, because you have different rules for those who are union and non-union. And then we also we'll add you to our database so that we can send out information when we're having events and such.
Thank you. Could you please also share that in the chat?
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If there's no more questions, we'll go on to the Underground Railroad Consortium.
Hey, everybody, can the assistant hear me from over here, or shall I
Why
move
don't you
up?
get
Yeah,
closer?
let me move on.
And could you, by any chance, bring a hard copy of the document?
I have a hard copy of a couple of other documents, but the ones that I'm sharing, the presentation, I don't have.
No, I'm not the presentation, but the memorandum.
I don't have a hard copy of that, but I can. This too. Right, and everybody here and see me okay?
When you move up, we can't see. If you, it's the camera's fault. Stop moving up. If you, can you move towards the television a little bit?
He's right.
Yeah,
He's
now
on
we
Zoom
see
as
you.
well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you.
And also, can I request to, I'll just share.
Just share.
Share a window. How goes it, everyone? My name is Sage Hamilton Tazarka. I am a corridor coordinator for the Underground Railroad Consortium of New York State. We're a 501c3. We exist all across New York State, representing about 40 different Underground Railroad and abolition heritage sites, ranging from museums to landmarks, to research organizations, and the majority of our sites are verified Underground Railroad history sites by the National Park Service Network to Freedom program. That's an initiative of the NPS that works with historians to verify Underground Railroad history across the country. One of our initiatives is the proposed Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad corridor. Another is a celebration or commemoration of the bicentennial of emancipation, legal emancipation in New York State of 1827. So those are examples of the way that we bring our organizations together to find interesting ways to develop programming that brings new eyes to abolition history. So what I'm going to be presenting on is the proposed Harriet Tubman Scenic Byway. It's a plan that we're pitching to New York State's Department of Transportation for a 500-mile scenic byway that honors Underground Railroad history. So over here, so yeah, the agenda kind of goes through a couple of definitions of what that process entails. So a public road or a New York State scenic byway as defined by the New York DOT is a public road having special intrinsic qualities. In this case, the intrinsic quality that we're focusing on is history. So the unifying theme of history of Underground Railroad heritage sites throughout New York State. The process of establishing a byway, especially in New York State with NYDOT's regulations, is community-driven and community-based. It's the reason that I'm here presenting. We have had similar presentations at not only other community boards, but other municipalities across New York State, from Western New York and Niagara Falls to Central New York, Syracuse, Capital Region, Albany. We want every community that our proposed route traverses to have ownership as a stakeholder of this scenic byway plan, because ultimately, whether it's incoming tourism or opportunities and recreation opportunities for local residents, we want this to be a beneficial plan. We also want to represent a region's scenic, recreational, cultural, natural, historic, and archaeological significance. And there's a dual focus of preservation and economic development. One side with preservation, we want to work with organizations to maintain that the history of the sites that we focus on are represented, but we also want there to be economic development for local businesses and organizations that exist along the route. So that includes arts and cultural institutions as well. The designation process is we start with interest in a scenic byway designation, determine eligibility, form an advocacy committee, develop a corridor management plan, which is the stage that we are currently at right now, and then get corridor management plan approval by the Scenic Byways Advisory Board, and that's also part of the reason that we are here presenting to our regional municipalities. So the process that DOT requires is one that requires resolutions for every municipality that our route goes through. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So in 2023, the Underground Railroad Consortium, our organization, received funding from New York State Economic Development Agency. This was part of a tourism revitalization grant post-COVID. In the summer and fall of 2023, we started developing a corridor management plan and had internal meetings to organize the process. Winter of 2023 and spring of 2024, we started having route mapping and site assessments, holding public meetings, and starting community surveys. And then this past summer and fall, we started to develop the corridor management plan, which is our official strategic document talking about the implications of establishing a scenic byway and different aspects like the way that we would work with marketing and tourism organizations, the way that we would work with community outreach, etc. once we get designation. And we have continued to develop those aspects of that corridor management plan this winter and also reach out to municipalities. So the proposed route is 550 plus miles across New York State. You can see over here that it stretches from New York City area, and I'll zoom into where the route falls within. Yeah, exactly, right here. Yeah. But the route basically goes from New York City to Albany to Syracuse to Niagara Falls. It includes Auburn, New York, which is right around here, and that was Harriet Tubman's chosen hometown after her service in the Civil War. So it is where she spent most of her days advocating for her people. She had a home and a couple of properties that she let people board in, took care of the elderly. She really, it goes without saying how wonderful of a human being she was, but she did this right here in Auburn. And it's really special that we get to connect a lot of these history sites that tell Harriet Tubman's story, but then also focus on the movement of freedom seekers. That's something that we really are interested in promoting with this scenic byway. Is we want to give the sense of agency back to freedom seekers and the Black history of the Underground Railroad, as opposed to just religious centers and landowners that are known for other aspects of Underground Railroad history on the funding side. So this is a story about Black agency through all of these sites. And really quickly, I'll zoom over to New York City. These red districts represent the community boards that this purple route would go through. So our proposed route, at least in New York City and in Manhattan, focuses or exists along Route 9A. So that is the Henry Hudson Parkway. In a lot of ways, NYDOT already considers the Henry Hudson Parkway a form of a scenic byway because it was grandfathered in when scenic byways were first established in New York State. So a lot of the land restrictions, moratorium on future billboards, so as to keep a scenic byway scenic, are already in place. But because this is a new byway plan, the DOT would like us to know, or would like to know that we have community by to an agreement for the plan. So it's not just, I guess in the case of the community boards alongside the Henry Hudson Parkway, it's not just a land thing, it's the awareness. Any questions so far? Okay, I'll keep it going, but I'll include a link to some of these maps too, so that if people are interested, you can see how it interacts with other community board areas. As you can see, goes into 12 over here, comes from 7, and it enters the city at 4.
Okay.
And as a side note, New Jersey DOT is working on their own segment that would continue down to Pennsylvania. And there are currently nationally recognized scenic byways. So they have state and national designation. We're only going for state. In Maryland, Delaware, Philly, or excuse me, Maryland and Delaware up to Philly, and then Pennsylvania DOT and New Jersey DOT are making the scenic byways that hopefully would connect to a New York State one. So we get the full story of Harriet Tubman from Dorchester County, Maryland to St. Catharines, Ontario. So this is potentially a national or a byway of national significance.
Or at least multi-state.
Yes, absolutely.
What is the end result? What is it going to say? Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad passed through here? What is it?
Yeah, so
what would you see that lets you know this is not only a scenic byway, but this was part of the Underground Railroad?
that's where the naming comes in. We call this the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad Scenic Byway, so it recognizes the stories, more stories of the Underground Railroad than just Harriet Tubman's. Because the name of the existing national byway programs in Maryland and Delaware is the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad Scenic Byway, we've adopted the same name. So it would be, if we get national designation after getting state designation, there would be kind of contiguous travel along that whole route nationwide.
And it's a plaque? What
It's
is it?
signage.
Okay.
It's signage, it's marketing, and it's programming, and it's eligibility for grant funding from New York State's Department of Transportation and potentially the federal highway DOT to ensure that the programming that we outline in our corridor management plan is able to continue. But New York State DOT currently is in support of us, and if we get passed, we would get signage that municipalities wouldn't have to pay for, that DOT would have budget outlined for. So there would be signs alongside our proposed route that tells where sites of Underground Railroad significance and Harriet Tubman significance are along our proposed route. So this is just some more information about the route. I've included a link to this presentation, so if you want to look into more of the details of the page, you can do that. And our vision is, as a vehicle for education, preservation, economic growth, the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad, scenic byway, and all-American road fosters community pride, enhances residents' quality of life, preserves historic and national assets, natural assets, inspires visitors to be agents of change, and elevates the authentic stories of freedom seekers on their journey to freedom. So these are examples of our goals: research, preservation, developing informative experiences, marketing the byway to attract visitors, and cultivating and maintaining diverse, inclusive leadership to identify resources that could be, recreational or heritage and cultural resources that evaluate the impact of the corridor management plan. And some economic data from Maryland and other scenic byways. Maryland's Harriet Tubman Byways, Vale Byway Program. It's done a lot, drawn 250,000 net new visitors, contributing 23 million in sales annually. And that's for a much shorter byway span. Just a couple hundred miles. Sorry?
When was this created?
This presentation.
Maryland.
Maryland's was created almost like 5 to 10 years ago. It's been around for quite a long time. And their byway only traverses 2 counties in Maryland, and it's had these results. Ours would traverse 22 counties across New York State, so there's the potential for a lot more visitation. The Natchez Trace Parkway across Mississippi, Tennessee, and Alabama has resulted in direct spending impacting multiple billions, supporting many jobs. So this is what we hope to see the Harriet Tubman Byway do in New York State, because people love byways.
Funding from
So the funding for
the signage and everything else that's needed,
so
and the marketing and all of that to let everyone know.
New York State DOT has basically committed to having funding available for signage if we get voting in. So just to the state level.
Okay.
For the rest of it, we as the Underground Railroad Consortium of New York State, or if this plan spins off into its own nonprofit as the responsible organization for the byway, would do its own fundraising to cover the operations of marketing. But part of the grant funding we've already gotten has gone into marketing initiatives and plans for documenting this process. So we're getting the corridor management components now. April and June, we'll look for public feedback on our corridor management components, and we're also doing outreach for resolutions. And if this is voted on by interested parties in the New York State Legislature in September, we would anticipate the legislation being introduced for our byway in January of 2026. That's our target.
These byways, are they activated now? Because they normally remote places and stuff. Now they be occupied now since.
So the byways are strings of existing roads, and then there's marketing and signage that lets people know what you can do off of these routes. So there are a number of scenic byways active in New York State currently, and there are some byways that have national recognition.
Yeah, but I'm saying, will it be under Harriet Tubman byways? Will it be more active as far as people using the roadways to get shortcuts to get to other areas?
The byways are usually placed in areas that are scenic or less traveled to begin with.
Right.
So the idea is that hopefully that would activate more travel to new areas and bring new people to places upstate where they may not usually go.
It could be a destination.
Exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
Ewan? Ewan, you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you, Tanya. Well, I joined late, but from what I have heard, it's pretty exciting and ambitious. And I completely support it, but I've got some questions. And we would be happy to work with you and with Harlem One Stop and the West Harlem Community Preservation Organization. So we're very active in historic and cultural preservation, and currently is working on a arts and culture district for Harlem, which would be a good, what do you call it? Enhancement to the route. But so if I could have your contact info in the chat, that would be great. My questions are, the route is along highways and byways, which I guess are secondary routes off of the highway. And you talk about signage, but is anything being done about identifying those sites specifically and naming those and protecting those? Black history is, in New York, at least, we've lost so many historic sites, and our history is being relegated to the textbook and to signage, which is a travesty. So, so I wonder if anything is being done to identify those sites and protect those sites that are known. Granted, it's the Underground Railroad, so it wasn't being publicized at the time, but history with research, or some more recently, have been able to identify some of those locations specifically. And my second question is, you talk about feedback, and I'm wondering, what does that process look like for public feedback?
Thank you for both of your questions. I'll start with the first one. So, and that's why I'm highlighting this slide. You see the various components of our corridor management plan. That's our strategic document that we're going to hand over to New York DOT to let them know, okay, if we get the byway designation, here's what we're actually going to do with it. The first item over there is resources and resource interpretation. By resources, we mean identifying historic sites, whether it's a home that you can visit, whether it's a plaque or just a sign, whether it's a museum that has an exhibit about Underground Railroad history, whether it's an AME Zion Church that has its own history of Underground Railroad involvement that maybe has not been in contact with academic historians. It's finding community organizations, stories of free Black communities, the areas that have maybe been overlooked in like I said, some other historic homes or initiatives. And that's part of the work that our steering committee is doing alongside the organization that I represent, which is the sponsor organization for this group, the Underground Railroad Consortium, other sites that are also part of the Network to Freedom, the National Park Service Network to Freedom. And through this process, we have been reaching out to other historians and groups that hold this history and and are preserving sites or doing research into sites that are no longer standing, to make sure that those are included.
Very.
Yeah, in
So
a,
it'll be all inclusive.
it's gonna be all inclusive for
Okay.
that. There's going to be documentation. It'll be marketed on the website for the byway. And there would be signage that hopefully leads people to some of those sites as a part of the DOT signage. And then as far as, please refresh me on the second part of the question. Oh, feedback. I got that. Feedback. We're writing or finalizing the corridor management plan now. We will have listed on our website when the public feedback sessions are for these components to be read and
Discussed.
discussed and added to.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
This is a very long shot idea. Looking more like a 27, 28, and just not really quite sure because of what we are already experiencing with legislation as relates to our public education system or the Board of Education. But I'm sitting here from the very onset of your presentation going, I just think this is a wonderful opportunity and partnership with the Department of Education in terms of our middle to upper class students who might have an interest in several components of this project, from going into tourism, as well as having, some Department of Transportation dealing with highways. But I mean, but without nothing else, the historical content and components of this is just absolutely strategic, I think, for our students as our future is concerned with our young people, and definitely our brown and black children in education, just having a more aesthetic experience with the street. I think New York City, as Mr. Kim just mentioned, that we have a rich resource here in New York City, that I just think that our public school students just don't get an opportunity to explore, like downtown, right by City Hall, on the Burger Grounds and things of that nature. Not to say that every experience needs to be morbid, right? Or on the sadder side of what the accomplishments that were made, but
Partnering with you.
yes, I'm sorry, I was long with what I was trying to say. I apologize.
No worries.
That sounds great.
But I just think in your future endeavors of this definitely needs to be brought to their attention, and what can be done in making sure that our staff
That's a great idea.
get it to next grades. So
No,
That's a great idea.
absolutely, and we would love to do that. Actually, it's written in the New York State Constitution under Education Law 801, I believe. There's a unit that's required to be taught in New York State schools about patriotism, etc. But the Underground Railroad and the abolition movements are written into that. So that's something that, or a note that we will use in the resource interpretation plan for that. We definitely want to have partnerships and collaboration with schools from the elementary level to the university level and the graduate level. There are archaeological digs happening across at some of our partner sites, and there are regular field trips that happen at others. So we want to support all of those and have this route be accessible for that.
Now, I know that you wanted to get the community board, arts and culture committee to endorse your endeavor. Could you bring up the document?
Yes.
We can't.
Before we move on, I'm sorry, could you just briefly, whatever was just suggested, those of us online could not hear what she said. Could you, I heard your follow-up to it, but I'm not exactly sure. Could you give just a brief, just fill us in on what was said, please?
Partnering with DOE and getting various kids involved, from high school to junior high school to seniors to archaeological digs, probably with colleges, just to make it more collaborative.
Okay,
And
thank
it'll be
you.
informative for all. When
Thank you.
we have to wrap it up, so if it's a, let's get, a quick question.
Oh, yeah, just quick. I mean, he made a very good point about what is written into law, because now that we have the Trump administration, how do you see getting more support from the federal level with this new administration?
At this stage, we're just looking at New York State designation to start. Yeah.
Okay.
Ideally, we would love for there to be support at the national level, and that's how all American roads get formed, which are multi-state national byways. Right now, we're focusing on state designation, because that's where the story is that we're highlighting.
Okay, thank you.
Okey doke.
All right, so I will pull up the documentation.
Just one
Oh, yeah.
second. Ilana? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is based off of the general resolutions that we've been sending and receiving from the other municipalities that have approved it. For example, Fayette County, Erie County, Town of Amherst, Scipio, et cetera, across the state. So it starts with identifying the historic qualities of the Underground Railroad and Harriet Tubman's journeys. It notes how our steering committee is representative of the 22 counties that are route traverses. Yeah.
By any chance, did you get approval from any of these as yet? Of the municipalities?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Do we have that in here?
It's posted online on this website.
Nope, in the document.
Oh, no, not in the document. It doesn't say.
You should do that.
Okay, I appreciate that. No. Okay, talks about the leadership of the Underground Railroad Scenic Byway Steering Committee. And that the advisory committee of the Harriet Tubman Underground Road Scenic Byway consists of relatives of Harriet Tubman, descendants of freedom seekers, Underground Railroad historians, representatives from state and federal agencies. That includes DOT, that includes Parks and Historic Preservation, Canal Corporation because of the central nature of the Erie Canal, et cetera. Whereas the process of developing the corridor management plan that I've been talking about, strengthens the bonds of intermunicipal cooperation, and therefore it leads to the resolution that a community board like yourself would support designation. And then also it includes the moratorium on future off-premise advertising, which means billboards along the route, but that kind of already is in place with the parkway status of Henry Hudson. So this is what a potential resolution might look like coming from a community board.
Okay, sounds good. So if you could put anything that you've accomplished so far and, one statement like, you should do this because, and send that tomorrow. Next week, we go to the executive committee. Unfortunately, this is the process. Unfortunately, I won't be here. We should be voting for this now, but unfortunately, we don't have a quorum, so we can't do that. But I think this is important enough that it could move forward. Just make sure, and then, I'll circulate it to the community members, and we'll go from there.
Well, thank you for.
Are there
your
any
time.
other suggestions or any other questions?
Is it time sensitive?
Time sensitive to this and the next month. We're really looking forward to have confirmed at least communication with all of the municipalities that our road goes through or that our proposed route goes through by the end of March.
Yeah.
But having the approvals earlier than later so as to show to NYDOT and also legislators that we're on the right track would be helpful.
So if this is if we're in agreement, and I think we probably will be, the executive committee is next Thursday, and the week after that is the community board meeting, which is the third Thursday of the month.
Okay.
So if it's approved by the executive committee, we'll go forward. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. for
Thank
your
you.
presence.
Thank you for your time, everyone. It's great hearing about everything else that's bolstering the arts and culture in CB9 as well.
Okey dokey. The next thing is new business. Does anyone want to take on the task of a 2025 art exhibit? Comparable to what I did last year, where we went out to the community, obtained several artists and had an art show. Anyone interested? Okey dokey. Old business, arts events,
Who's missing? Just Walter? Tiago.
and Tiago and Alana seems not to be available right now.
Okay.
Oh, hello. I'm having technical issues. Can you hear me?
Oh, you are here. One.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I've been
Well,
putting
we
it
can
in the
vote.
chat. My microphone isn't working, but now you can hear me. So sorry, I'm here.
Okay,
Alana,
there's
you must
two
be
of
on
us.
camera. Sorry.
Yes, I'm having it. There's a lot of stuff that's not working. That's what I've been trying to say. I don't know what's going on. I'm on my phone, but the microphone wasn't working before, and I've been trying to get the camera to turn on, and it's not turning on. I put that in the chat.
Alana, were you able to listen to the presentation
Yes,
regarding?
yes, I've been on the call.
Okay, all right, we can do a vote. There's enough of us here. All those in favor,
It has to be an in-person quorum.
we did it with the community board and it was an in-person quorum.
We can't,
Go ahead and vote, okay?
it has to be an in-person quorum. There
You
has
didn't
to
do it
be
with
an
the community
in-person
board?
quorum. I'm sorry?
We voted at the community board and everyone wasn't in person.
Tina, there has to be an in-person quorum.
Okay,
I think that perhaps, if Youth is over there, you can double check with her, but there has to be an in-person quorum.
Can you bring this up
Okay,
at executive? Because that happened to us at our last meeting in housing.
Yeah.
There wasn't an in-person quorum because everyone was out sick.
Yeah.
And they were able to take a vote at executive. So maybe you guys can do that.
At exec.
Someone call Barry.
okay, why don't you go ahead with the arts event? And I'm gonna go next door and ask you then.
Okay. The old business is regarding the arts event that I've been talking about to bring the arts organizations and artists in the community together. I announced at the last meeting that it's going to be a separate event that is not a community board event per se, but the Arts and Culture Committee did vote to be in partnership with me for that. Right now, nobody please get mad at me because I'm trying to find a name. And it seems like every arts and culture name in the world is taken in West Harlem, but right now it's going to be called Arts Harlem, just Arts Harlem. That is the working title. It will probably change. I am still putting it together. The Arts and Culture Committee has agreed to partner with me, as well as VOSA and Harlem Arts Alliance has agreed to partner with me. So please stay tuned. Anyone who is interested in any organizations or artists who are interested in being involved in this multidisciplinary arts festival in October, please send an email to cb9arts@yahoo.com and please put festival as the subject, just to express your interest, so that when I am putting together our first sort of informational call, I'll have your information. And
Daria, did you get the email of last Friday on that subject? I did send you an email at the end of the Harlem Arts Alliance Town Hall meeting last Friday. Subject festival to indicate NOMA's interest in and request to hear more from you as the program moves forward.
Thank you, Martin.
Also,
Thank you so
I'm
much.
sorry, also, can you repeat the email address?
Yes, it's in the chat. I'll put it in again. It's CB9, as in Community Board 9, CB9 Arts with an S, CB9arts@yahoo.com.
Please include us, Daria, as well as you move forward.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
While Tina is gone, I guess it's up to me to, we actually are only waiting for that. I really wish that we could do a vote, but unfortunately, Robert's pesky rules of order.
Here's the answer, here's the answer you're looking for.
Oh, good.
The answer is, we can't do it. So we will bring it up at the executive committee. Okay?
Daria?
And
Sorry,
Yes.
this is Stephanie Nelson. I was hoping to present tonight. I didn't know if maybe were you were about to close. Can I have a few minutes to present, or we're not there yet?
you're not on the agenda.
I received an email saying that I was supposed to be on this agenda, and I
Okay.
confirmed.
Go, Stephanie, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I know you're all excited to leave now.
Go ahead. What's the
So
name of your organization?
it's Stephanie Nelson Dance Group.
Okay.
And this is our third year receiving funding from West Harlem Development Corporation, and we're very thankful for that. We are celebrating our 25th anniversary this year. As I mentioned previously in my introduction, we have been located in Morningside Heights for the last 20 of those years. And we are a contemporary dance organization that is invested in using dance for joy, healing, and empowerment. We offer over 100 free community classes annually. So relevant to this community board, we have upcoming events. We're partnering with Columbia University's Miller Theater to present a performance featuring dancers with disabilities affiliated with AHRC New York City, which is a disability service organization. We provide weekly classes with them and creative workshops, and then have culminating performances twice a year. So we're very grateful to Columbia that they're offering us their theater for this edition. That'll be May 22nd at 12:30. And then on June 6th and June 7th, we're partnering again with Broadway Presbyterian Church. We're going to be presenting new company work based, one of the pieces is Dea by Dea, and it's based on a play that was written between the two world wars during the rise of fascism. So frighteningly relevant now, 100 years later for the 100th anniversary of that. So we're hoping to get some speakers involved and maybe start some conversations around what's happening, and that it's, frightening, and basically 100 years later, and basically we're in a very similar position to when this play was written. Then the next night we're going to have something called our Moving Memory event, where we feature the next generation of young choreographers that are selected by panelists, and they make work based on memory, erasure, and forgetting, because a lot of what the company does also has to do with dementia, and we do a lot of work with seniors. Some of the annual classes that we provide free of charge are working with disabled seniors. And so we like to also create work around that. We teach children, but basically for the purpose of this, it's 3 upcoming events, May 22nd, June 6th, and June 7th. We'll have all the details on our website, sndancegroup.org. And that could be it, unless you have questions or.
Do you have a soft copy of your next performances?
To send to you for the e-blast that you forward? Yes, we will definitely get that to you. We love those. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to request that we adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, so moved. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Anybody that wants to, don't sign out so quick because I just want to save the chat, please.
I want to shake. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Can I ask
Thank
Stephanie
you,
to put
everyone.
her email?
Thank
Stephanie,
you.
can you put your email in the chat?
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks,
Barbara
Stephanie.
Grant, I need your number.
Gwendolyn, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you put your information in the chat? I used to work with AHRC as
You
well.
did? Ah,
I did.
my information is up towards the top. I'll put it in
Okay.
again. I'll put it
Oh,
in
okay.
again.
Okay, good. I'd like to hear more about what you're doing.
Yeah.
We have a 20-foot murals that's still in our storage that I created with them back in 2012. And they came to the center where I teach on Fridays, Jeffrey and a few of them, they were singing. They were just marvelous.
Wow. Did you work with ADS or EBS or
Do
the education department? I know they have a lot of departments.
I'm sorry.
no, I worked
Barbara
directly with
Grant, would you please email
Yes.
me your phone number?
Yes, I will. I heard
Thank
you.
you.
Gwendolyn,
Thanks.
I just put
Got
my
it.
email in the chat. So if you want to, we can continue this, maybe not when everybody's ready to leave.
Okay.
Stephanie,
Yeah,
it's good to see you.
Sorry,
Gwen, it's
guys.
good to
Let me
see
hurry
you
up
too.
Let me hurry up and get her email. Sorry. S Nelson at SN Dance Group. All right. Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
everyone. Great presentations tonight. Please connect with those arts organizations if you haven't already, because they got the resources. And please come back. We invite you to. Have a good
Okay.
week, good month. See you
All
next
right.
month.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
No, that's okay. You ain't gotta do all that. It's fine. And just hit send. Thank you.
Can you check if you got it?
Oh, I'm sure. Now I want to.